To the surprise of many, Leicester City are second in the table. Under Brendan Rodgers, they've regained life, and many would argue are even better than when they won the title in 2016. Entertaining to watch, Rodgers has developed his own style of football that is a fusion of Klopp's Liverpool and Guardiola's Man City. But how exactly has Rodgers transformed a team that was slow and plodding under predecessor Claude Puel into a high-scoring, title-challenging side? Central to this is his on-pitch tactics. Before we analyse this though, we must acknowledge the foundation of success: strong recruitment. Over the course of several years, Leicester have been building a strong squad without breaking the bank. Leicester's starting 11 have cost them a combined figure of less than 160 million. In the footballing era of heavily inflated prices, this is remarkable. In fact, their sales of Riyad Mahrez and Harry Maguire raised 140 million, nearly enough to cover their entire starting lineup. Regardless of recruitment though, it takes a talented manager to turn a team into a title-challenging side. Although Rodgers has occasionally mixed up his formation to take advantage of opposition weaknesses, he generally sets up Leicester in a 4-1-4-1 formation. Kasper Schmeichel lines up as Leicester's rock in goal, with Evans and Soyuncu in front. Ricardo Pereira and Chilwell act as the bombarding fullbacks on the flanks. In front of the defence sits Wilfred Ndidi, with Maddison, Tielemans, Perez and Harvey Barnes in front. Finally, leading the line is one of the league's most deadly strikers in Jamie Vardy. In build-up play, Rodgers' approach to attacking can be described as a fusion of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and Pep Guardiola's Man City. Similar to Liverpool, Leicester play quick vertical passes, attempting to break the opposition lines and catch them off guard before they can reset defensively. They play inverted wingers that like to move the ball inwards towards the centre of the pitch, much in the same way as Mo Salah and Sadio Mane regularly cut inside and run at goal. Unfortunately though, this can create a problem of congestion in the middle of the park. If too many players move centrally, the spaces tighten and it becomes easier to defend. This is where Leicester's fullbacks become pivotal for the success of the team's attack. Chilwell and Pereira are constantly running wide overlapping runs, much like Robertson and Alexander-Arnold at Liverpool. This generates two outcomes. It either allows for a dangerous ball to be played into the path of the fullback, or it forces the opposition to track the run, pulling a defender out of position and reintroducing more space centrally. It is for this reason that Leicester's fullbacks are so important for the team's success, and the quality of Chilwell and Pereira regularly shines through during the course of 90 minutes. The midfield, however, differs from Liverpool. Liverpool's midfield consists of three players who are hard-working but lack some creativity. Their job is to win the ball back as quick as possible and play a sharp forward pass to the forwards before the opposition's defence is set. Leicester's midfielders, while also hard-working, rely on the creative talent of midfielders Maddison and Tielemans. These two play a similar role to David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne at Man City. Maddison and Tielemans are excellent with the ball to feet, consistently able to pick the right pass when the time is right. Their movement off the ball is also key. When the fullbacks aren't providing overlapping runs, Maddison and Tielemans attempt to attack the half space, the area between the opposition's fullback and centre half. De Bruyne and David Silva are also masters of these runs at Man City and regularly use them to devastating effect against their opposition. Once in behind the opposition's defensive line, the duo can play a dangerous ball into the box. The key here is that Leicester are a well-drilled unit who each know their role and consistently perform. All too often, we see teams get in behind and flash a ball across the 6-yard line with nobody to attack it. Because Vardy is willing to consistently make these runs, this is rarely a problem for Leicester. His run drags a defender with him and leaves space around the penalty spot for two or more other players to also attack. With more than one option in the box for either Maddison or Tielemans to pick out, they regularly find a teammate and create a scoring chance. This consistency becomes a positive, reinforcing cycle. Maddison and Tielemans want to get in behind because they know options will be available in the box. Secondary runners work hard to get in the box because they know Maddison or Tielemans are consistently playing balls in. If one of these players stopped carrying out their role on a regular basis, it would discourage everyone else and cause a reinforcing negative cycle. If Maddison or Tielemans stopped getting in behind the defenders and playing the ball into the box, Vardy would eventually stop making his runs. If he stops making his runs, then Maddison or Tielemans have no incentive to get behind. And here you have this negative reinforcing cycle. This is often why you see strong individuals struggle to work together towards the end of a manager's reign. Once you've lost trust in your teammates, everything breaks down. With Leicester, on the other hand, the trust is strong, and the importance of this cannot be overstated in maintaining performance levels week after week. When teams drop deep to defend against Leicester, they rotate between these two methods of attack. Number one, overlapping fullbacks, creating width and freeing up central spaces. And number two, Maddison and Tielemans attacking the half spaces and looking for a dangerous ball into the box. When teams choose to attack Leicester and push high up the pitch, they are equally as comfortable. With strong technical players, they are able to regularly play through the press or hit long balls over the top to Vardy, who has the pace to get in behind the opposition defensive line. It is because of Leicester's attacking versatility that this season opposition teams have been regularly picking the ball out of their own net. Before we move on to discuss Leicester's pressing and highlight a few key players, I'd like to take a quick moment to welcome you to the channel. Here on the 12th Man, I discuss all things football. And as a smaller channel, any support you could show, whether it be just a single like or a subscription, would be amazing and really goes a long way. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Now let's get back to the video. Similar to many managers in the modern era of football, pressing is an important part of Brendan Rodgers' style. His team push high up the pitch in order to pressure the opposition players and affect a turnover in possession in a dangerous location. While Leicester don't press as heavily as Klopp's Liverpool, they do adopt a similar mentality when they regain possession. They look forwards and attempt quick passes that catch the opposition back line off guard. This is in contrast to Manchester City, who also press high but will more frequently recycle possession back to their deeper players once regained. When Leicester regain possession, Jamie Vardy is essential. His willingness to make incisive runs and pace to get behind the opposition back line makes the Leicester press even more effective. While not discussed as often as the likes of Vardy or Maddison, I feel it necessary to especially highlight Wilfred Ndidi as arguably their most important player. With 4 midfielders, a striker and 2 overlapping fullbacks, Leicester may be a serious threat going forwards, but this doesn't offer them much cover if the opposition win the ball and move it forward quickly in transition. This is where Ndidi comes in. It is rare to find a player who is able to operate as a solo defensive midfielder and cover so much of the pitch. For a young player, Ndidi has exceptional awareness of the game and consistently tops the Premier League charts for interceptions and tackles. Without the strength of Ndidi behind, Leicester would likely have to withhold an extra player from joining the attack and hence struggle to create attacking overloads. It cannot be overstated how important Ndidi is in allowing for the rest of Leicester's team to bomb forwards and still retain defensive solidity. This is another overlap with Man City, who for several years have relied heavily on Fernandinho's brilliance and now Rodger to provide a similar defensive cover. Before Brendan Rodgers took over, Vardy had more touches of the ball per 90 minutes, he made more tackles, won back possession more frequently, and was overall more involved in the game. In fact, virtually the only stats that have improved under Rodgers have been his increased number of touches in the opposition box and goals scored. So Vardy is actually playing worse except for his goal scoring? Not quite. Under Claude Puel, Vardy was more involved in the match. He would sometimes drop deeper to get on the ball and would press opposition defenders much more so than he does now. Rodgers, however, has taken a more tactical approach, asking Vardy to carry out less work for the team defensively and in build-up play, and instead focus all of his attentions on what he does best, making quick runs in behind the opposition defence and finishing clinically when he receives the pass. Rodgers is quoted as saying, "We have asked him to stay a bit more central. You don't have to be involved in the build-up as long as the other players appreciate what you are trying to do. It is up to the others to serve him." By occupying the last man, Vardy also has another impact. The opposition centre-halves aren't able to step forwards from their positions into midfield in attempts to break up the play. This in turn creates more space in front of the opposition back line for the likes of Maddison and Tielemans to wreak havoc. Vardy's role under Rodgers has been a significant transformation, bringing out the best in the league's top scorer. If you're keen to see a video dedicated solely to Vardy's new role in this Leicester team, I personally think that would be very, very interesting. Well, let me know in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to get one made ASAP. Here on The 12th Man, I discuss all things football. So if you're a football fanatic like myself and are bored of hearing the surface level punditry on TV, hello, Michael Owen. Join the community by subscribing now. As a smaller channel, any support you can show would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and remember to check out other videos which are on the screen now.